Pod Chef. Pod Chef. You're listening to Pod Chef. When I say pod, y'all say chef. Pod Chef. You listening to Pod Chef. It's a podcast about Top Chef, and that's a broadcast. It's on TV.
Welcome to Pod Chef, the official Top Chef podcast. I'm your host, Jamal. With me is Reeves.
Hello, we're here. The finale. We made it. We all
and
survived.
Reeves co-host Brian.
I gotta clear my throat. Hello, we made it. We're at the finale. We survived. And it's almost like an allegory for the rest of the world. As COVID begins to end and the world opens back up, so does Top Chef end and send all those chefs back into the open, back into the wild blue yonder.
So if you're listening and wondering why Brian took
there's
such a
train.
liberty in saying so much at the opening there when he just had to say hello, it's because we don't have a guest. So Brian is feeling like he's got to fill up the airtime. And we appreciate that, Brian.
I do that when
they're
even as a guest too.
Yeah, I know. You do.
And if you're wondering about those train sounds in the background, Brian does have a soundboard and he's going to plug in some cool noises. We're kind of trying out this whole early morning DJ kind of character thing. So you might hear more of those at weird moments.
And if you hate them, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and subscribe to the podcast. And we'd love to hear how you feel about these soundboards that Brian's using. But we are here. What? No, do it. Leave a review.
Not a negative one about you don't like the soundboards. I've worked hard on the soundboard.
It could be a positive one. Don't just assume it's negative. It could be positive. They might have something nice to say about your soundboards.
Reeves said if you don't like it, go and let us know.
Yeah, and
That's
you know what?
Reeves.
No one has said anything, which means the show is flawless.
Everyone likes it. Yep.
Everyone likes everything we do.
That we do, yeah.
They haven't listened to a single episode where they were like, oh, that part sucked, or I didn't like when that person said that thing, or anything like that. Everything is good. And if anything, we've gotten a couple more 5-star reviews without actually, anyone writing anything. So I guess
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That's true.
And if we were doing something bad, people could easily just go and write a review, and they haven't, which means we are doing we figured out podcasting, I think, to a T. So
yeah, it means that people like what we do. Everything is great, whether it be forgetting the contestants' names and not saying them correctly.
Yep.
Forgetting who the judges are.
Yep.
Very sexually explicit talk at the beginning of an episode. People apparently love that too.
Yeah, people love that. People like having guests on that have never seen the show and seem to not even like the show when they watched the first episode of it. They thought that was cool and that was good.
I thought people liked Top Chef. Apparently no one watches Top Chef that we know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's more the daytime TV crowd that's up at night likes Top Chef. They watch it the next day, and they're like, "Oh, Top Chef."
That's when I watch it.
Yeah, that's when I watch it. I'm a daytime TV guy.
I watched this episode at 6 a.m. this morning.
I'm a Nielsen family member. Let me tell you that.
You're a member of the Nielsen family?
Yes,
you
I'm
get
a
that
Nielsen
money?
family.
You get that money filling out those
God.
forms?
Not only am I filling out the forms, I'm shaping TV for America.
Jamal's the reason why we've had to watch Big Bang Theory for 25 seasons. He just keeps saying, yes, more.
More. Could it be funnier? No.
Yeah.
He said bring in Blossom.
Yeah.
Bring Blossom on the show.
Let's see where this began. Let's see him when he was younger.
I was also the guy who said, give what's her name from Big Bang Theory her own spinoff.
Give Blossom her own show. Call it Blossom.
Call it Blossom.
He retroactively made Blossom happen, and that's why Joey calls him and he says, "Whoa, thank you."
Yes.
Is it Joey from Blossom?
Yeah,
it's also Joey from Friends.
Joey from Friends says, "Whoa."
Yeah, that's his most notorious line from Friends.
Mm.
Whoa. And then Chandler often always says,
He goes, "We were on a break."
yeah,
That's what Chandler says.
That's what Chandler says.
Mhm.
Ross always says, "How you doing?"
Yeah, and Rachel says, "That's what she said." You know, my favorite show.
And then Phoebe is Seinfeld. So this
It's so good to be able to do this podcast and do these bits knowing that they're perfect, because if someone didn't like them, they could just go write a review
Yeah.
saying how much they don't like this and please stop doing it. But no one's doing that. So
we would
clearly
immediately stop.
we would stop. It's the second we had to read a review like that, we'd say, okay, feedback heard, listened, and it's going to be implemented in the next episode. But we're not getting that, so we're doing great. So we're going to keep doing what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of doing great, Tom dropped off our report cards.
Okay. I didn't see Tom.
Yeah, I didn't either.
No, I did. He was dressed like, because it's 4th of July, the weekend, he was dressed like Uncle Sam, but he had sparklers in each hand.
Okay.
No, he had sparklers in each hand, and he just had the report cards around his neck, and I had to like rip them off of a string to get them. And he was like, "Happy Independence Day." And then he said, "Kind of like your second Independence Day, huh?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Well, Juneteenth." And I was like, "Okay."
Did he wish you a happy Juneteenth?
Oh, no.
No, he didn't.
Was I supposed to?
I think you were.
I
were.
on June 19th, I Googled, should I wish people happy Juneteenth? And most of the things said no.
Well, you should have said it. I should have at least gotten like a Venmo payment. I didn't get anything, so
That I should have done.
I am
That's
looking
true.
at my white friends now a little side eye because I got nothing. I didn't get a card. I didn't get like a, how like on your birthday, your mom gives you like $20 or like something. I didn't get anything on Juneteenth, when it's kind of like, what's the point of being free if it's not going to come with perks? But it's fine. I remember. Black people have memory like elephants. We remember every wrongdoing. So
Here's a question. You know how on your birthday you can get like a free sundae at Dairy Queen?
yes,
What's the Juneteenth version of that?
I think it's tax-free day in Texas, right? I think on Juneteenth, if you're black and you go shopping, it's tax-free.
Is that real?
No, but it should be, right?
It should be.
It
Sounds natural, doesn't it? It does sound natural, right? It should be tax-free day for black people all across Texas. And I mean, that's a win-win. It boosts up Texas economy, and also black people are like getting discounted goods.
Yeah, and I feel like, I don't know how many Texas listeners we have. I feel like they maybe don't support paying taxes.
Well, they don't.
They might be
they don't have
happy
income
about
tax.
people not. I mean, again, if people disagree with what, we got some Texans that are listeners. They're more than willing to write in a review and say like that.
Yeah.
They don't say accurate things about Texans, and then I will read that in the podcast, and I will make fun of you probably.
Yeah.
So that's a reason to do it.
So write a review. But yeah, got the report cards from Tom. They're long. Like, this is a big batch. I thought they were going to be small, but this is a long list that he has here for us.
Okay.
There are 10 categories that he rated us on
Okay.
for this season.
And it's all of us together. He's rating us
All
like
of
as
us
a
together, but
collective?
we all have our own grades.
Okay.
Okay.
All
He
right.
kept it very short and sweet, and he kind of, in every comment section, he said, "Decipher it yourselves."
Okay.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
So it's sort of like a Montessori situation then.
Yes, it is very much Montessorian.
A lot of like pictures and stuff like that for
Yeah.
actual grades.
A lot of letters, a lot of pictures.
Mhm.
He did put in a Jesus raptor on one of these.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you guys why don't we just get into this? And I'm sure it'll spark debate.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm ready. I need to know if I need to go on the ski trip or not because it is hot. I need to go on a ski trip, baby. It's hot. It's 90 degrees, baby. It's hot. I need to go on a ski trip.
I was
Just let
unclear
this
where, like, you kept saying I'm going to go on a ski trip if I did well. Where are you going to go now? I'm
Where's
sure there's
cold,
some
baby?
place.
Where's cold?
Yeah, I mean,
Big
I'm sure
Bear Mountain, Pennsylvania.
Okay, but you're going to. I don't know if there's going to be any skiing in Pennsylvania.
Don't they make the snow?
Okay, and
They
now
do.
this is like this is like telling someone that wrestling's fake. Don't do that.
Yeah.
No, we know that it is, but
It's still real to me. You guys seen that video? It's one of my favorite things
Kayfabe.
ever.
yeah, it's a
One
solid
of my
video.
favorite things I've ever seen. I don't ever want to see anything like this again.
First category from Tom is hosting.
Well,
And
this
he
was
gave
just
us-
you, so
That's what you think, right? But it's not. See, it's thoughts like that, which is why you're third chair. Just want you to know. So hosting, he gave me an A, obviously,
Okay,
wow.
an automatic.
that's nice.
Gave Reeves a B,
Okay, that feels about right.
and he gave Brian a C.
Okay.
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 Any thoughts on our grades so far?
I mean, ain't that yet? He didn't fail you.
No, he didn't fail me. Did I fail myself?
Well, a C is not failing.
It's not bad.
That's average.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's average.
No, and that's
Since
pretty
when
good
did
for
average
me.
become bad?
Ugh, my therapist says it all the time. That sounded sexual. It wasn't meant to be. That's what she said, right?
Brian
Rachel
is
from
the same-
Friends.
Yeah, Rachel from Friends.
Brian is the same therapist as Tony Soprano.
Hmm.
Oh, also, this episode of this season finale is brought to you by the young Tony Soprano show that's coming on HBO.
Kings of Newark or something. Hey,
Kings
remember
of
we
Newark,
had one
yep.
ad randomly? You guys remember that?
I do remember that. I remember it.
It's probably why I got an A in hosting.
Yeah, it was pretty good. There was a lot of work, I feel like, that went into the ad. I feel like the issue with it was good, is that it came at the wrong episode. Because I remember there was another point in that episode where I also had something that I had kind of worked on, and I cut it in the moment because I felt like it wasn't going to work in the episode. Because the tone comedically was just, well, not necessarily. Maybe the speed of the episode was a little bit different. So I was like,
Well, we have another ad.
ooh,
If you want to run it.
Maybe next week. If we're,
Yeah, maybe
we're
we
already
should.
doing
okay.
report card.
We should maybe.
Okay,
bank
well,
it.
can I just at least tell you the product?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Give me the first letter of it.
B.
All right, give me the second letter of it.
A.
And the last letter.
Of the entire thing or just of the first word?
First word.
Y.
B-A-Y.
BAY.
Well, that's the last letter. It doesn't mean that there's not other letters in between there.
Barry. Is it about the show Barry on HBO?
it's Barry
Season 3 coming
HBO.
out soon.
Oh
No.
man, so
We didn't get the Barry
funny.
ad. It's
No,
so
we did
good.
not get the Barry ad. We did get something. I think it's kind of related to like HBO a little bit.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's baby daddy condoms.
Okay.
Okay, and that's a teaser for it. When we get to it, future episodes, you'll know when we were kind of running out of stuff. When we hit that in one of the future episodes coming up. Because listen, we got a lot of stuff. We got to fill some time. Our
Yeah, the
listeners
show's
maybe
over.
people might be thinking we're going to do Top Chef amateurs. We're not. That shit looks like it sucks. So we're not. They put that episode directly at the end of this season finale, and I was like, I'm not watching this. This looks like garbage. So
Yeah.
we're gonna go back and watch old stuff, which is better.
Yeah, it's going to be great. So let's keep going. Next category is guest booked.
Okay.
All right. Well.
Jamal got an A.
Okay. Well.
That's pretty cool. Reeves got a W for withdrew.
Thank you. That makes sense.
And Brian got a C.
I did a good job.
Well, defend your C.
Defend my C.
Who did you get on the show this season?
I booked? Oh gosh, let's see. One person I booked canceled. I booked more than one person. Who else did I book?
I think you got maybe 2 or 3, right?
Sebastian Canelli.
I booked Sebastian Canelli. Which
Yeah.
people? That's a big episode.
Uh-huh.
Big episode.
Solid episode.
Solid episode.
That's the ad episode
And
I was referring to. earlier.
Nicole.
Nicole.
Oh crap!
No.
I'm saying the wrong name.
No,
You mean
it wasn't
Monique?
Nicole. It was
Oh,
Monique. Yeah.
And then I booked someone who canceled. who I was supposed to reschedule, and I haven't done it.
That's right.
Okay, so that's probably why you got a C.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, I'll take my C. Whatever.
It says, comma, could have been more people.
Yeah, it could have been more people, but I didn't want to book my friends.
Well, that's what I did. And that's why I got a name.
I didn't book my friends because they're already on the show hosting the show. So I
And
can't
And
rebook
that's
them.
why, yeah.
That's
That's
the
why you
sweetest
got a
thing that's
W.
ever been said on this podcast,
Yep.
and that almost breaks the rules that Tom told us in episode 1, which is not fall in love.
I'm not falling in love. Next category is bits. And this one is always interesting. Because it's kind of like Tom plays favorites with this, I feel like.
Okay.
It's about who he
notoriously,
likes.
Brian, you've gotten a bad... Notoriously, Brian, you and I think have gotten bad grades on this. So let's go through this. So my grade is an F+.
An F+? That
Which
seems
is interesting
harsh.
that he decided to bring the plus into play here with the grades. Because before it was just standard A, B, C.
Yeah.
And now he's saying F+. So I'm at the highest end of failing.
Okay. Maybe that's what he wanted to tell you, that it was like, yes, you are failing, but you're getting close to getting over that.
You're getting closer
hump.
to get a D so you can actually pass.
Yeah.
Can I? So, and this could be because I get high a lot. Wouldn't the most failing be the worst? The highest level of failing be the actual worst you could do because it's
So I guess
failing?
that would be an F- though. That's the highest level of failing.
But
That's lower on the
But I'm saying
grade
like
scale.
F+ would be like it's a good F, and to be good at F is I don't know what I'm talking about. Let's move on.
I think
what
I
did
know
get?
what I think I know
Okay,
what you
so
mean.
Brian,
But I still think you should
I
cut
think
it.
we should just jump to what Brian got in bits because I
Yes.
think that bit he just did explains this grade.
No, that wasn't a
You
bit.
got-
That was serious.
He
No,
got
it's
an F++.
tough. Oh, wait.
See, so that's very bad.
But that,
Yeah.
or does that mean that you are at the top tier? You're closer, like you're at, I don't know what the percentage would be at this point. What is it? 59%. You're closer to getting
A
to
60.
a D. Yeah.
It feels like with an F++, you're at like 59.8 and I'm at 59.0 and I've got that whole tenth of a section to go.
Well, then who did good? People like our podcast.
Reeves got
who's
an A.
doing-
Reeves got
Oh, no. Oh, no.
an A. Reeves got an A for his
Oh,
bits.
man.
Tom loves
Well-
Reeves bits.
That sounds right. Listen, I put a lot of effort in. Oh, did you guys hear that? Oh, there's a big firework.
I heard that one.
Very scary. My little chef's gonna be so upset about that. He only celebrates Bastille Day. I work very hard on my bits and nothing else for the show, so I am glad to see that pay off.
It shows.
Yeah.
So let's go into attendance, and
Good. I'm glad this came up. I was hoping this was going to come up.
So
And normally you're not graded on it. It's something that's like, an award.
Tom put
for-
a comment here that said 40% of your grade.
Wow. Okay.
I feel like I've had a college professor like that. Just showing
So-
up is 40%.
Yeah. He said, you just show up, you'll get a D. So I got an A+. I made all the records. Reeves missed one. He got a B-. And
Okay.
Brian, I think Tom put into account how many times not only you missed, but also had to reschedule. And he gave you a C.
That's rough.
Look, those have been very recent. I've got senioritis that I keep having, and I want to go to the park. I don't want to do a
Yeah.
recording. I've got
It does-
senioritis. We did the senior field day, and I went to Six Flags.
Mhm.
He drank too much.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run through the halls of your high
Look,
school.
guys, I just moved. Okay, my life is in complete chaos right now. I did a pilot, which you guys didn't. No, Jamal watched. Reeves didn't
I
watch
watched.
it.
I haven't watched it. I'll watch it at some point. I promise.
That's fair.
Next
That's fair.
category is called likability.
Oh God!
Uh-oh.
Just don't tell me mine.
Can we all withdraw from that? Because there's no way.
I
There's
got
no
an
way.
F.
Yeah.
Reeves got a. Well, I got an F that says friggin' likable.
Oh.
Reeves got a B, as
Yeah.
in because you're likable, and Brian got a C.
Because
Nothing
I'm
after.
likable.
No, there's nothing after yours. It just says C.
The only person that didn't like me of our guests was Casey. Everyone else liked me.
I think Casey liked you. I don't know.
Maybe
if all
that's
the
what
other
the
ones
C is
liked
for.
you.
Maybe the C is for Casey.
You don't think who liked me?
Any of the other ones?
Oh,
No, I'm
especially
kidding.
Especially my wife when she was on.
No, I'm trying to think of any guest that I think they all liked us. I think if anything, maybe Harold didn't like us. Oh well, Harold definitely liked Jamal. So that's about it.
I'm
though.
friggin' likable.
Mhm.
Next category is I don't understand this category. He just put chefs I prepared for you. So I don't know if he's like grading us on what we cooked
That's
or
what it
what.
sounds like, yeah.
probably.
So I got a B.
Mhm.
Reeves got an A, and
Oh, yeah.
Brian, you got a C.
Okay, is this a pattern here?
What's the pattern?
Yeah.
Then I'm getting all C's.
Yep. Okay, that's what I was seeing too. And listen, I think you're doing a great job. I think Tom just kind of I think he's got a bit of an issue with you. I don't know, maybe
Yeah.
it's like you know, and we're going to get into this in the episode. I think Tom he finds people that he likes, and it's very hard to break him out of that if he doesn't
Ever since
like
he
you.
saw you.
I
Ever
spent
since
money.
he saw
He
you.
should like me more. I spent
I
money
know
at his
he should.
restaurant.
I know.
A lot
know
of
he
money.
should.
We kind of gave you the cold shoulder though.
And I'll tell you what, he wants to grade me like shit. The fish sucked when I went there.
Oh shit.
It's fucking real. I didn't talk about it on the episode because I was being nice. It was horrible. It had no flavor to it at all. It tasted like fish and water. I had to add salt to it. And I don't do that. I don't add salt to things.
Now, okay, I haven't tried this fish, but I will. I mean, listen, I'm not one to back up Tom on this. We have kind of painted him as a bit of a villain on the show, and maybe also a racist. But you know, shouldn't fish taste kind of fishy? I think
It
I know
didn't.
Oh, it didn't taste. Okay.
It tasted like it was boiled in water, like just regular water.
Hmm.
And it was like wet
It's
and
probably
not
rose
good.
hip water.
Interesting.
Probably boiled it in rose hip water or something.
No.
Fancy.
It had no flavor. And maybe it's because I ate it the wrong way.
How'd you eat it?
Well, I'm reminded of a story once when I talked about eating something wrong.
Here comes
Okay,
a
I thought that might come out.
And I think people didn't like that. People said that it was too long. So I'll tell you how I ate it, and this will be quick.
Mhm.
And this was that I threw it on the ground.
Well, you do this thing sometimes where you get food and you just kind of like sniff it, and then if you don't like it, it's kind of like a cat. You just kind of like put your paw up, and then you just kind of slowly push the tray to the ground. And in this case, it's like a plate that you knock over, and then you kind of just stare at it like a cat, just kind of despondent. Yeah.
Yeah. And my
Then you
wife and the servers are like, don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah.
And I'm just doing it slowly.
And then you know Brian feels good about himself if he starts licking his side.
Mhm.
With my sandpaper tongue.
Any
Okay.
more grades, or is that it? Is there
No,
any kinda
there's
like-
more grades.
Oh, sweet.
The next section, the next category is called add foam, debone, or send home.
And this is one
And-
section.
Yeah, this is one section.
Okay.
And he put Jamal, send home,
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Reeves, add foam, Brian,
Right.
debone.
Yeah, I
Okay.
mean that is what we got a lot.
That
Did
is
he
what we got to
explain
learn.
his answers?
He said sending home Jamal for obvious reasons. I don't know what that means.
What does that mean?
I'm afraid to guess.
Yeah, he said adding foam to Reeves so that he can float to the surface because he's my little baby boy. And then he said I'm deboning Brian because what's this say here? He wrote this in. I gotta copy and paste this, put in this to Google Translate. I don't know what this is.
It's like in a
it's
different
Russian.
language.
Yeah, it looks like it's Russian. So let me just copy and paste this and put it in. Paste this in. It says deboning Brian because he came to my restaurant and talked shit and forced me to take a photo with him. I wasn't even looking at the camera when they clicked. I hope I looked good. I don't know why he didn't just put that in
Why?
English.
But that, yeah, it seems like a weird. Maybe he just didn't want you to know, but he needed to get that out there. So it was like one of those things where it's like he wrote it, like writing an email, a draft email, but you don't send it. And he was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'll just code it, and that way you don't actually get it." But you didn't know that you could just like Google Translate and figure it out.
The next two sections are good ones. I think they're ones for us to grow on. The next topic, the next category is female guest booked. Jamal got an F. Reeves got an A. Brian got an A.
Okay.
So I think we all have something to grow from on this section.
Yep.
Yeah.
Listen, we should have more women on the podcast. That's true. It's I think that's.
Well, you booked Annie and Eva, didn't you?
Yeah, I think he's holding that against me because they're my friends. I think that's what the F is for. Because I've only booked my friends.
Okay.
I didn't book anyone else who wasn't. So It is what it is, The next category is female listeners influence to keep listening. I got an F minus. Reeves got an A, and Brian got a C.
I have a, before we get into Brian C. Did he by any chance grade the guests at all on that either, or was it's just the three of us?
It's just the three of us.
Okay.
He did write a note here. Says if Reeves tries to get uppity and ask if I'm grading the guests who may have said something about that would have made listeners not interested, it's your job as host to turn the tide and make them want to keep listening. So
okay.
So it's on us, I guess, eventually, at the end of the day. Yeah. Last category is
that's true.
Yeah.
Wait, so I got to see?
You got to see. Last category is show prep.
Shoda?
Show prep.
Oh, show prep. Oh, yeah.
Sure. I got an F.
Followed
by an A.
Okay.
Followed by an N. Followed by a T. Followed by an asterisk. Fantastic. I got a fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Reeves got an A.
That's
Brian,
amazing.
what do you think you got?
So here are my thoughts on that before you reveal my grade on show prep. My value is in post show.
That's true.
I'm the editor. I'm the one in there spending late nights grinding on the keyboard and mouse, and I'm in there in Audacity. I'm putting in. Speaking of your commercial that you did a couple episodes ago,
yep,
it had music behind it. And was that there when you did it? When you recorded no, someone added that. That was me. That was post guy. I'm in the low post. I'm like Shaquille O'Neal of this podcast. I'm in the post. Hakeem Olajuwon. I got the dream shake.
I think we already did assign you a player, and I think it was Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
in the post.
Yeah. He won a ring, Yeah,
Superman.
Okay. So you've done all this. Would you like to hear your grade?
Yes.
You got an A. All right. So let's move on to
wait, am I going on a ski trip?
I don't know. You got a bunch of C's and 2 A's.
It's so hot. I need to go on a ski trip.
I think you need to just go, man. You're sweating really hard. And I mean, it looks like there's no AC. I mean, if anything, do you have the oven on? It looks like
I do, actually.
You should turn that. It's going to make it so much hotter. So much hotter in your place.
Yeah, I think that's what I should do.
Is that your sous chef behind you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I need to go on a ski trip.
All right. Well, you're
okay. Yeah, we can move on.
Let's do chefs I prepared for you. Everyone knows this is the segment we do where we talk about what we had for dinner last night, like we were presenting it to the judges. Chefs I prepared for you: smoked chipotle seasoned chicken thighs, sweet potatoes, and sautéed spinach. Can I just say I've had a bad batch of sweet potatoes recently?
Where do you get your sweet potatoes from?
So I tried to get them from Whole Foods. I tried to switch up. I normally get them from Streets Market up the street from where I live. I tried to get them from Whole Foods, and while they are ginormous from Whole Foods, the ones that got picked for me were, because I got them delivered. The ones that got picked for me They were hollow on the inside. They were rotten.
Ooh.
So
Hollow on the inside.
yeah, like filled with pockets of air, and like pockets of holes, which means they're past their prime. So,
What's the return policy at Whole Foods?
well, I'm not returning.
Mm,
You can only find out after you cut into them,
right.
so I can't return it. So I was just devastated. So I went to my tried and true and got myself new sweet potatoes today.
Are we not in sweet potato season? Is that maybe the issue?
I don't know.
I feel like tubers are always in season because they're underground. Is that true?
That's a good
And are they
point.
tubers?
I think they are tumors. They do.
It's not a tumor.
Yeah.
It's not a tuber.
There's this seasons
Arnold.
don't change underground, do they? That's all.
No, they don't.
And
Unless
we're
you're
back
in the
into-
tundra, in which case the ground freezes.
Yes.
Ski trip.
Yeah, ski trip. Gotta go on it. Okay, I got my Uber Eats up now. Chefs, I prepared for you. Chefs, I prepare for you. We got Little Coco's last night. My wife got a lobster ravioli, and I had some gnocchi, and we had some
Holy crap.
prosciutto along with it, which is my favorite thing in the world. And I
Lobster
tried to eat it with
ravioli.
my fingers at first,
Like
because
like
that's-
Tony Soprano.
like
young
just
Tony
like
Soprano.
just like young Tony Soprano, the king of Staten Island. That's a crossover. I hope that's. I'm writing that now. Yeah, I ate it with my hands like a monster, and I gotta stop doing that, especially if other people can eat it. It was good. Hit the spot.
They're just giving you like fresh cut prosciutto when you get it like that. Like it's just like, here you go, like a deli, like in paper.
We had to order it. It was like it was an appetizer along with it, but it came in like a really big plastic bowl where they just like plopped a bit on top of it, and I was just picking
Okay.
it out with my hands like a monster.
That's what you're supposed to do with
Yeah.
prosciutto.
Nice.
And I had like a panic attack.
The ducks are gone.
The ducks aren't. Where are the
Hey
ducks?
guys,
I-
come here. Look at the ducks.
I
Look at
hope
'em.
so much that I'm really excited for the prequel, but I hope it like there's some kind of duck thing. Like he sees a duck at some point, and, and everyone's like, huh?
It's like a wink at the audience.
Just yeah, that would be great. I hope it's like Solo, where they explain a bunch of things I don't give a shit about. That's my favorite part of prequels. Anyway, that's what I had last night. Very tasty.
We're good. All right, chefs. Last night I prepared for you Thai food from Montclair, this place that we tried. We're in Jersey now. People didn't know, and we love Thai food so much. It's so good. And we got a little drunken noodle action, a little pad Thai action. I really like that kind of food. The drunken noodle, the noodles was really like they're really wide and like gummy and chewy, and they're just so good. It's amazing.
It's
I can't
I've had,
delicious.
forget-
I've had drunken noodle once. It was very spicy. I liked it.
Mhm.
Yes.
I like the kick. Here's a question: does it make your tum hurt afterwards?
Not usually,
Okay, that's a me thing.
because of the spice.
Yeah, I think the spice and there's just so much oil and everything going on with it. I get a little bit of a tummy ache afterwards. But it is delicious. I do like the texture of those noodles.
We tried a place like last week that it was like sweet potato versions of that, and it wasn't good. I don't know why they did that.
What? Jamal.
A sweet potato version of drunken noodles?
Of like the wide drunken noodles.
Well, yeah, they're completely different texture.
Yeah,
They
it was
do
really
that.
weird. It was the place that was closest to us, and when my wife picked up the food, the guy said, "Thank you for ordering so much food," and then he gave her 2 free Thai iced teas, which also weren't good.
Oh man.
So we're not going to go back. Sorry.
Oh man.
Oh no.
They probably like loved you. They're like, oh my god, we got business.
That is similar when last week when Carrie said that my worst food thing is ordering 2 meals. That's probably why the guy said thanks for ordering so much food.
He was like dropping out the food. He was like trying to look inside. He was like, "Are you guys having like a family get together or something? You got a party going on in here?" And you're like just a crack through the door. You're like, no, just give me that.
Brian's like, yeah, everyone's a comedian. Give me the food.
Yeah,
That's what we had.
sounds
All
nice.
right. Now you kind of got me in the mood to get Pad See-Ew.
Most places close in 15 minutes, so I'm gonna have to get it for lunch tomorrow. It's late. We're doing a late record, folks.
Maybe in New Jersey, not here in the heart of the city.
That's right. We are in the suburbs now. Things close early.
Yeah, that's right. You got to get your shit done by 9 p.m.
And I brought that up to Carrie, and I was like, "All these restaurants close early." And she's like, "We shouldn't be ordering dinner at 10 p.m. anyway." And to that I say,
She's right.
know your role and shut your mouth.
All right, so we're at what, 44 minutes?
And that won't make the record, I bet.
That might, The Rock.
Well, don't really have any good segue, so just say we'll be right back after this. Talk about the finale.
Yeah.
We're back, season 18, episode 14, the finale. Let's get into it. I really think that this finale was drawn up from the mind of Dale. I think Dale just said, "I want 12 plates of food."
Mm-hmm.
Because all they had to do was make their best 4-course progressive meal of their lives. There's no quickfire elimination, nothing. It's just the elimination challenge itself. And all they had to do was make 4 courses. And we're going to get into it. We're going to get into who did these courses right and who did them wrong.
Yeah.
Who finished their food, who didn't. Who plated their food, who didn't.
I like that they do the finale this way. And that there's, I guess the only element of that's kind of like making it a little bit more difficult is like the drawing the knives to select who's going to be your sous chef.
Yep.
But I think all three, the people that they could have selected were good. Everyone seemed to get the people that they wanted. So I think it kind of worked out. So it ends up just being a challenge that's just like cook the best meal of your life, which is like kind of what you want to see in the finale, because then it really is like a fair, even field for everyone to compete on.
Yeah.
And I feel like they picked the 3 people to come back who would have actually work in this scenario, because I don't think Sarah would want to help anyone but Gabe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, like, you wouldn't want to bring back Roscoe, who really wasn't on the show, and like throw a wrench.
Who?
Exactly.
Yeah, Roscoe.
Who is
because it would
making
throw a
up
wrench.
people?
Poor
It would throw a
Roscoe.
wrench in the show of like this person who's kind of cold, doesn't have any kind of chemistry with the contestants, is now back in the show on the finale helping someone cook.
I do like
But it
when
works out.
when they bring more than than what's required, though, so that some people just get sent home. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
in one of the seasons we watched recently, it was like, all right, I guess we'll go to the beach, and they'll like get to leave.
Yeah.
I like the idea of like 4 people like not getting picked, and then like, all right, I'm going to Portland. I'm going to go hang out in Portland.
Yeah. That is
Do
pretty
you think
good.
they sent them all home since they didn't want to like pay
No.
for them to be quarantined anymore?
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'm pretty sure they're quarantined. They probably just couldn't leave. Maybe there's a protocol thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they kept switching them out.
No,
Yeah.
wait, the contestants.
But
Like-
how are they? Maybe they asked them. You think, like, do you want to go home? Or do you want to be possibly picked to come back on the show?
I just wonder how they decided on those 3, because they weren't the last 3 eliminated, were they?
No,
they were.
They were, yeah.
They were.
I think
yeah.
so.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
probably why, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. I think there might have been more people still around, but when you get to the actual last scene of the episode, typically that's where they kind of bring everyone back, and I think it was just those people along with
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Top Chef alum.
That's
So
interesting.
yeah, might have just been them that were hanging around.
So they got to pick who they wanted to work with, and then they got to break out in their groups and really talk about what their goals were and what they wanted to do. Let's listen to Dawn's goal.
Menu tomorrow. Okay. My goal is to make sure that my plates are finished.
I'll just stare at it. Bet you forgot that.
Oh, good, Dawn. Yeah, in the finale, your goal is to make sure your food is plated. Oh, that's a good goal.
I think it's a
Oh,
smart
good.
goal. I think you
Yeah.
need 2 goals. Make sure the food gets on the plate and make sure people eat the food.
That's
And
it.
maybe they also like it. And I think if you stick with, I mean, if we get to it later, Shota's like, I want to keep it simple. And I think that might have been his goals too. Is just like, I want to make sure that when the judges get the plate, there's some food on top of it and they are
Yeah.
able to then eat the food. What happens
Yeah.
after that, I am not in control of. But
I think at
those
one
two
point in
things
time,
I can
at one
do.
point in time, Byron says, "Thank you for keeping it so simple."
He does.
Even like when they pretended to trick them, which like we knew that wasn't going to be a thing, when like all the like judges were there at their home and they're like, you gotta cook for us. There's a scene when like Nina is telling Dawn to like keep it simple, and she almost kind of like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Like she kind of
Yeah.
responds like, not like, yeah, thank you so much. It's more like, yeah, I know, I got it. And no, she didn't.
No, you don't. You don't. So why don't you listen up more, Dawn? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's also they get more into the specifics of it in this episode, but it's I guess she does have some trouble with timing, but I think ultimately it's editing. She just wants to do too many things. She wants to show off so many things, and I think she doesn't want to. If she has an idea, I think sometimes she has trouble being like, I'm not going to do this because it's going to slow me down or it's too much. Just, focusing on one thing. She wants to do all the things and show them all the things that she can do. And I think it's just like
bad comedy writer.
Yeah, hat on a hat, too many things.
You gotta cut some of these jokes.
Yeah. Yeah, but she's clearly like great. Like we'll get into it, but like the thing that she cooked that was like the black eyed peas, and that looked fucking delicious. Looked great.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the finale they give them a house for some reason. I don't know why they couldn't stay at the hotel they were at the entire time. But
because they travel. You always travel for the finale.
They traveled so far. They're still in Portland.
Did you notice when they got into the house, they go into they're like the first room they go into, Gabe goes, Shota, this is your room. And they cut to like a massive teddy bear in the corner.
That's right. Yeah.
What's the joke? I don't get like are they like he likes teddy bears? Or I don't
because get what Shota's short, maybe? I don't know. Is that what the joke is? Like, look at this huge teddy bear that towers over you.
There's been nothing before this that would lead to us being like, oh, we're in on this joke. Like, it clearly was some kind of joke between them. Why show that? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I want to understand the joke. I don't like feeling stupid.
How big do you think that bear was? Bigger than the bed, right? It was like huge. It was a huge teddy bear.
Huge. It would have scared me to sleep in a room where the teddy bear is that big because I think it's going to come to life.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a good chance there's somebody in that bear.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that.
Honestly,
then I wake up and it's like, I wake up in the morning and the guts are cut out and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's the person coming out of it. Yeah. I give you like like if I'm being honest, like a 70% chance that someone is inside that bear and they will probably try and get out and murder you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd go 75%.
Yeah. I didn't want to say it, but it's probably in the 80s, to be honest.
I'm going 98, and I'm going to say
you're going 90.
I'm going 98% chance. If I walk into a room and there's a gigantic teddy bear for no reason, even if someone says, "Oh, it's just for aesthetic reasons," I'm going and grabbing a big butcher knife and saying, "Well, we're going to test this out, see if this is just for aesthetic reasons, or is there someone hiding here trying to get me later because they're going to come unstuck first." So,
and that's smart. I think whenever you go anywhere, if something looks like it could hold a person in it, go ahead and stab it a bunch just to make sure there's not a person in it. Because I'm going to go on record saying there's like a 91% chance that if something in that room is big enough to hold a person, there's a person inside there.
Person inside.
And they're waiting for you to go to sleep. They're going to come out. And they might not kill you. They might not do anything to you. But they are in there. And they're going to come out when you go to sleep.
Yeah. Well, this is a little bit. I remember you telling me that you went to a mall specifically to like a Build-A-Bear, and you're like, I got to make sure that these are all legit bears, and then you just like pulled out a knife that had been in your pocket. You started just stabbing all the bears. You're like, this one's good, this one's good, this one's good, and then you kind of moved into, I mean, you got to the point where you were into kind of like the Sbarro's that was next door. And you were kind of stabbing at the pizzas and then eating them and kind of knocking things around, stabbing like the canisters that had all the like napkins in them and stuff like that. And then at a certain point you couldn't get it off. So it was almost like a shish kebab. Which I mean, like you're doing a service definitely for people, but
Yeah.
I just think that maybe it was a little much.
People
We
got
can't
mad at
go
me when I
back
told
there.
them I was making sure the pizza wasn't full of a person or poisonous, but I was doing a service.
We can
And
go
I'll tell
back
you
there.
what, I was like 92% sure that one of those pizzas was going to have a person in it. And on that day, I was wrong. But tomorrow, who knows?
Who knows? They were
Mhm.
large pizzas too, so it's not your fault.
Yeah, they were big pizzas.
Yeah.
If it was a small pizza, duh, obviously not a person inside there.
Yeah.
I like this episode. They were told that they could go. They didn't give them a money limit too. They're just like, go where Portland is your store. Go wherever you want to.
Yeah.
And the first place they go is Whole Foods in their BMW X series.
X6 series, whatever.
X6. Tom gets that. He's like, take your BMW X series, and they go to the Whole Foods. The first
I
place
wish
they
I
go.
had taken the clip of that because Tom delivers that just so perfectly.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
so smooth. It sounded like it was just natural conversation he was having.
Yeah.
He said, "Hey, go shopping in your BMW X series."
Yeah. His read was a man who is so over this shit and did not want to be there anymore. I feel like this entire season he has given off vibes of like a man that's just like 1 foot out the door, who doesn't want to be there, is just so over it. He also is wearing a lot of hats. He has a hat on this one too.
Mm-hmm.
Ed Lee had the hat winner for me. His hat was
Mhm.
wild. His
Yeah.
hat looked like a fisherman's hat, sort of. Like it had like bait hanging off of it, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It was a little big. I would say that. I feel like it might. I don't know. Maybe that. I don't know a lot about fashion. Maybe that's a cool thing to wear, but it seems like one of those things that, you know, in a year we'll look back and be like, "What was that a thing?" And then be like, "Oh no, it wasn't a thing. It was just something Ed wore." So yeah.
So they're cooking, and Maria is back in the kitchen. So of course she's going to say something. So let's listen to what she says.
Then I braise it overnight.
Crazy, right?
Just a classic Japanese dish.
You're a classic Japanese dish.
I don't think you can say that. Can you?
I mean, she did.
She did, and she'll say it again probably. Maybe
Look.
that's another thing that was an inside joke that we weren't in on.
That we
Like the
missed.
Yeah. She also said to, like, when Gabe was like, maybe it was the point that they were, he was letting her try the dessert or something like that. Or no, they were going through what he was going to do, and she goes, "They're going to shit their pants." And I thought, oh no. Oh no. That's Gabe, that's not what you want to do, is make those people shit their pants.
They're wearing nice clothes.
Yeah. That's the last thing they want to happen, is just shit their pants when they're eating a nice meal that they're supposed to be judging.
Where I come from, calling someone a dish is a compliment. So
Yeah. It's like calling someone a
And where are you
snack
from
or a
again?
treat.
what?
Where are you from again?
Oh, I grew up in a diner.
Mhm. That's right. You were the diner kid.
I was known as the diner kid. I went to school there too.
Mhm.
All right. In other discussion, as someone who ate over 100 churros at a wedding once, I just want to say Gabe's dessert looks good just by looking him pull it all together.
Mhm.
But it wasn't a churro. It was my alarm for taking pills is going
I
off.
know it wasn't a churro.
It was a squash covered in
I know.
sugar.
I know. I'm saying it just looked good just watching him put it together. It looked good.
It did look very
On its
tasty.
the sum of its parts look good.
Here's a question
And
for
this
you
is
guys.
again coming from someone who ate over 100 churros at a wedding at one point in time in his life.
It was
Which wedding was
impressive.
that?
I don't know. It was a wedding in Mexico.
It was
Tulum.
my wedding
Right before
and it
COVID.
was impressive, and it was
People
a
looked
memorable
at me
thing
weird.
that happened. The
The
staff
servers kept looking at me
confused.
like, "Why is this? Is he actually part of the wedding party, or is he just here getting free churros?"
You're
He's
doing
like
both, really.
hawking. He's not even like going away. He like keeps coming up here grabbing three, and now he's just like sitting here at the table. He like pulled up a chair.
Well, yeah,
and
you
now
pulled
he's
up a
just
chair
eating.
to the table, and you're just like, "This is where I sit now."
He's
Yeah.
just eating at the table.
Which it
now.
was like one of
This
those
is so
like
awkward.
open kind of buffet churro situations where there's a lot of churros, a lot of dipping sauce, and Jamal just pulled up with kind of a fork and a knife and a big bib, and he just started going to town.
Yeah.
Kind of made it so it wasn't really welcoming for anyone else. And if you
And
kind
that
of tried
wasn't
to get
because
close,
I was.
you would kind of go,
And that wasn't because I was like greeting people as they came up and it wasn't welcoming. I was just my presence was very formidable. As I was hogging the fresh, hot, piping hot churros that got put out in front of me. And then at one point in time, one of the people who worked at the restaurant went up to Ginny and like pointed at me and was clearly talking about me sitting there. And I just like gave like a wave back, which I knew I had like cinnamon sugar on my lips as I waved back. But it was dark. She probably couldn't see that. But Ginny like gave a wave back saying like, "Oh no, he's fine. He's harmless."
I didn't know that happened. I'm just glad you had a good time and you got to eat all the churros you wanted, man.
And she said you were harmless, but I mean, like to that population of churros, you were fucking Godzilla.
Yeah. You stored through an entire town of churros.
That really was.
Wreaked havoc
That was-
on them.
Cleared out like a family tree's worth of churros. Generations.
Generations are gone. Dawn is waiting to bake and proof her bread, and as someone who's baked bread and homemade pizza dough, it sounds like a bad idea when she said she was going to wait, and it was, because it put her behind. The next day, though, when they go home, Dale makes his funny joke when they walk in. Let's all listen.
Smell something. Oh, shoot.
Chefs, please.
All the all-stars here? What in the world is happening?
Couldn't make it that easy, right? You three have to choose one of us to cook against, and the loser will be going home. Psych!
I was like, later.
And that's a good bit.
And here's what
Yeah.
I know for certain. Dale pitched that bit to everyone that was there. They said, "That sucks. We're not going to do that." And then he did it and was very, very proud of himself.
That might have actually been good to watch, honestly, because this episode kind of sucked. Like, if that had been something that really happened, I'd be like, cool, that looks great. I would love that to happen. As much as Dale thought that was convincing that they were, they thought they would have actually had to have done that, he made one key error. He said the loser has to go home. And that's not what Top Chef does. The loser has to pack their knives and go.
And go.
It's very different. To go home, they were like, no one goes home. I have to pack my knives and go.
Yeah.
You couldn't even say that right.
Yeah. What a fucking idiot.
I wonder what grade Tom would give him
Yeah.
for bits.
Yeah.
If we're getting Fs.
That
He's
doesn't
gotta be
work at all.
really down there.
But let's play it out. Who do you pick to cook against?
Out of that
I'm
group.
picking Dale.
They all three pick Dale.
I'm
Yeah,
picking
yeah.
Dale.
Everyone picks Dale, and he's like, "No, wait a minute, it can't work
No,
that way.
I got. That means I got to cook 3 times.
3 times. I can't do that."
Put all the pressure back on him.
Yeah, yeah.
So the next day after that shenanigans of getting food actually cooked for them at home, they wake up and can you believe it? Dawn's behind schedule. I do want to go back and say that when Dawn was being spoken to by one of the All-Stars, you can see Jamie in the background saying thank you, like mouthing to her, like thank you for giving her a talking to. She's making too much food.
Well, she also slipped her $20 too.
Yeah.
If you caught that, she gave her like the underhand, gave her $20.
There's one of those new 20s too with Harriet Tubman on it.
Yeah, they don't even have those in circulation yet, but she had them.
Yeah, I think
worth more.
the Top Chef crew got those special order.
This would be the season to do it, so that
it
makes
would be.
sense.
Would be. When they're back in the kitchen cooking, I love how calm Shota and Gabe's group is, and then Dawn is barking orders at Jamie, who's just trying to help.
Just trying to do her best. Another thing with Shota, that so before they left, he like taped off his oven because apparently he was gonna like keep his, I think it was like the beef tongue in the
Yeah.
oven, so it
The
like
residual
slowly-
heat.
And they took a lot.
Oh my
Maybe I just have a
God.
lot of
Yes.
issues with the way these shows are
Yes.
edited, but it was so
Yes.
much time showing him tape it and like him talking about, he's like, I don't know if this is gonna work, blah blah blah. And I was like, oh well, this will pay off. It doesn't pay off. He gets
No.
back, he tries it, and he's like, oh, it's great. I was like, oh, I don't give a shit. I didn't need to see that. There's way more interesting things happening in this episode.
Yeah.
Why did you show me that? There's a tease.
This was like Mad Men. Like watching Mad Men, you're like, oh, this is when he's gonna kill him or something, and then nothing ever happens. So this is what happened. Yeah, they're like, we gotta tape this thing. They show it, and like, oh great, this is some like janitor's gonna come out and be like, what the fuck's all this tape, and take it all off and open it and cut the oven off. But no, it was fine.
Yeah, nothing happened.
I would love for a janitor to come in and be like, "What's all this tape that says do not touch?" I'm gonna throw this out.
Yeah, Tom.
I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck? And they left the oven on and take it all
Yeah.
off.
So let's listen to this clip, and it speaks for itself.
Yes.
Thank you. Ooh, holy moly.
Gorgeous. This sashimi's beautiful.
You gotta throw a little gold leaf on there.
Oh wait, you're missing something.
Oh, wow. This is Dawn?
Yeah.
Dawn's dish, I didn't get the bread or the chicharron.
Dawn, no.
I don't have it either.
No, Sherry, I'll split the bread with you.
cool.
You're missing too.
Yeah.
No, we missed 2 plates.
Hello, chef.
So I just want to say that's the end for you, Dawn. You're in the finale and you didn't finish plating, so this is now a 2-person competition. So good job. Hope it was worth it. Hope all the chances you were given, all the previous episodes, all the breaks you were given more than any other Top Chef contestant. I hope it was worth it.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, she's gotten quite a talking to from everyone, including, the previous Top Chef contestants on like not plating on time and stuff like that. And she admits to it when she comes out and they ask her to explain the dish. She says, like, you may have not gotten, whatever this last piece was. And it cuts to Padma and she just goes, okay. And that's it. And that is the worst of all of the things that she's gotten, because it was just, there was so much disappointment and just like, she was just so over it. She was like, yeah, this you did it again. Okay, great.
Padma feels like me.
You're out of this competition. Yeah.
I would love to hear them, like, who out of the 3 main judges have been like really pulling for Dawn, to have the moment to them all turn to that person and be like, see what you did? You see what you did? We've been telling you this whole time.
You're the reason that we keep voting her through, and she's still doing it.
Mm-hmm.
She did this week 1.
Yeah. Well, we know it's not Dale.
Yeah. And then Melissa was like, "Oh no."
Melissa's so nice. She's such a nice person. She was pulling for her, and she's just in the nicest way, just no.
Shota's getting dinged on his rice dish, which has made me go risotto.
It was definitely a risotto. He had crunchy rice, and then he also got red for serving like staff meal looking food.
Yeah.
Which I wouldn't have thought of until they said that, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks like something like I would make. Like, it looks plated like how I plate something, just like here's all the food. I bet it tasted great though.
Yeah. I bet the flavors were
eat
there.
with your eyes. We eat with our eyes, right? That's what they say.
Plating
With
is a
our
big
eyes.
part of it, especially with like the refined, fine dining piece of it. And like it all this stuff I'm sure was amazing, but like it did look like he put huge, just messy scoops of rice just on the plate, which maybe that's like how it's intended to be served. Like that's what he was going for. But it these finales, which is part of the reason why I picked Gabe early on, is like they really they like that refined, like fancy pantsy dining style plating. and appearance of the food, along with being able to like tell a story and be your background and that kind of stuff. So if you're missing that piece of it, I feel like Tom is just kind of like, nah, not for
Yeah.
me.
Like Gabe's beef dish with the mole. Let me see what it was. It's a short rib with chicciole negro mole, mushrooms and pickled mushrooms, whatever, pickled persimmons.
Burnt mushrooms.
Yeah. I thought that looked great even on the plate, and I was like, I only know what one of these things is, but I want to eat all this.
I only know what mole is if you go to like a crappy Tex-Mex place and you get like enchiladas with like mole sauce. It's that dark brown sauce. And this dog is making noises next to me.
Oh no.
And that's great. That's really good. Should we pause this? Should I wait a second?
No,
Is your dog
keep
okay?
going. Keep going.
This is Carrie's dad's dog. He's very old.
Oh.
He's very hot now. His name's Rexy. He's a good boy. He's blind and deaf. And he makes that noise, and now he's panting. It's hot. He needs to go on a ski trip.
But
and that
mole.
tastes really good.
It's
like
great,
that kind
right?
of like crappy mole. It tastes amazing. I can only imagine how good that tastes. And I was like, oh, what if I just try to make that? And then he's like, there's 20 ingredients in it, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna try to make that.
Yeah. The simplest, to your point, like the simplest mole has like 20 ingredients. It's like, because my wife loves it. And I was like, I'm going to start cooking it. And I was like, this is so hard. There's so many ingredients. It takes so long I mean, it makes sense. It's amazing. But yeah. And to your point, like something that has like, that much work put into it. I can't imagine how great that is as comparison.
Yeah.
Even like the low level stuff is great.
Yep.
And I'm glad we have that on record now. Reeves was going to make mole for his wife, but it was too hard, so he gave up very quickly. And that's on audio now.
It's recorded
forever.
I can't get away from it. Now I got to do it.
Let's just jump to the end judges table. I don't know why, but Tom is wearing a suit finally at judges table. He looks refined. Dawn is happy after judges table, and I don't know why. You're not winning.
Mhm.
Like you served a dish that was incomplete. Like Shota and Gabe have a moment where they say, we made it hard for them, and Dawn goes, yeah, we did. And I'm like, they're talking about each other. They're
Yeah.
not talking about you. They're literally talking to each other like, we made it hard for them, and Dawn's like, yeah, we did.
Yeah.
No, Dawn, no.
You were just there when they
They
said
made it
that.
hard.
And it also is
Yeah.
not true because it's very clear this entire episode that Gabe is the one that's going to win. Like they try and make it so it's like, oh, like when they get to the judges table, it's like, oh, this person won this round or whatever. But it is so clear that it's going to be Gabe from like dish one that you're like,
Yeah.
there's no
Let's hear
surprise
the
here.
finale.
Gabe, you are top chef.
I'm a little mind blown that I won $250,000 right now, to be honest. I'm very inspired right now. I'm so inspired by learning from the fellow chefs that were here, learning about myself, and learning from the judges about what I can do to be a better chef.
¿Qué te dije, cabrón? ¿Qué te dije?
One of the biggest things that has really warmed my heart is knowing that I am the first Mexican top chef.
Papito.
I'm happy to be representing my culture, my cooking, and also a group of people that really operate the kitchens across the U.S.
Congratulations.
I think I needed Top Chef.
Quiet, Shota. Congrats, Gabe, on winning. Let's, I guess, transition to, what does this mean for the fantasy standings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go take a look at that real fast.
should take a
There was a
look.
bit of drama because when I just do the standings as they are, says advancing, getting to judges table. I mean, this technically is getting to judges table, right? Everyone makes that. What? Everyone's at judges table at the end in this episode.
Technically.
Yeah, technically. I don't know why you're making sounds. 35 points. Shut up.
Because I'm the only
Shut
impartial person in this.
I know you're not. So look, I realize the points here. In the beginning, I just looked at who won Top Chef, and it was Gabe. So I put in 5. And then I also realized then that I was losing. Still, with the fact that I put in the fact that you guys made it to judges table.
And I had 2 contestants.
And you had 2 contestants, and then I had to put in the fact that wait a minute, you get 5 points just for reaching the finals, and I did not know that. So then I put that in, and because of that alone, Reeves, I'm winning by 2 points.
Okay, that feels justified. I feel like whoever had the person who ends up winning should probably win this thing, right?
And Gabe, it makes sense. And Gabe has the highest point total of everyone on the show.
That proves
he
it.
Should win.
You know what?
He should win.
We should take this to frickin' Vegas, man, because we basically predicted it. And to be honest, I mean, I know I'm not getting points to this, but I did on record say that I thought Gabe was going to win from almost the beginning.
You did.
But also our algorithm proved that he should win and did win. Surely we should be compensated for that.
And our algorithm proved that if Dawn wasn't given so many chances, she should have been eliminated instead of Jamie. Because at the time, Jamie had more points. I don't want to get into it, but Jamie could have been in the finals, man.
Is that a better final?
I think so.
Because Jamie, I'm trying to think about it. Because does Jamie have a better chance than even Shota of beating Gabe?
I think so. Here's why. Jamie went out swinging for the fences, trying to do something that everyone knows you can't do. She was trying to work with the fish and the cheese. Yes, it was a gross dish, but she finished all her plates. And as we've discussed, I don't understand how in a cooking competition with chefs, you advance someone who not the first time, but for the 3rd time in the show, has not finished plating food over someone who has not at all shown that has not shown that problem and has come back from Last Chance Kitchen and has won since coming back from Last Chance Kitchen.
It must have been a really bad fish dish.
It must have been.
It must have been really bad.
It must have been.
It probably sucked.
It probably should have been her. I also think about I guess I don't know. We were really high on Sarah, but then she got knocked out in the last chance. And I'm like, would Sarah have been more competitive in the finale too?
Oh yeah.
I think so. I don't know if she would have beaten Gabe, but I think she would have been more competitive.
I just don't think they wanted someone to come back from Last Chance Kitchen because it makes no sense to get someone to come back that they'd have to beat the active contestants to actually come back.
I hate that shit. They did that last season, and Kevin did it. He won. But he was one of the best people that's ever been on Top Chef. Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It also, I don't like that people come back twice. I don't like it that it's you have one person come back in the middle and then you do it again and someone could potentially come back just do one.
Yeah.
Do one.
Just do one.
Yeah.
So, so Gabe won. He has 45 points. It's literally half of my team's points. He more than made up for the fact that Roscoe went out week 1. And I won, and my team name is called Hall of Fame, and I picked it accurately. I just do want to point out, let's take a second and pat ourselves on the back, me and Reeves, because, again, just from looking at and reading some very quick bios, me and Reeves are able to pick winners. We're able to see winning qualities in just what people look like. We don't have to talk to them. We don't have to hear them. We don't need to interact with them. We can just spot it like we're looking in the Matrix. Whereas Brian has a hard time.
Yeah, judging people in the way that we
judge
people. Yeah, I agree. I'd be interested to see what our first round draft picks were.
I wish people could see Brian's face.
I don't remember who my first round draft pick was.
I think I took Shota first.
I do. It was Brittany Anderson.
No, she wasn't first round.
No, it was Pescuzzi.
Which I stand by that pick. I think
that's a good pick.
Should have been a good pick.
That's a good pick, but he talked himself out of the show.
No. Here's why I did so bad, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
I ended up having second pick in a 3-person snake draft.
Yeah.
Which meant that Jamal got first pick, I got 1 pick. Reeves got 2 picks. I got 1 pick. Jamal got 2 picks. I got 1 pick. So like I was always behind.
No, it was always even.
No, it seems like it should have been even, but it wasn't.
When Reeves got 2 picks, you came back and you got your second pick. That's even.
Yeah.
And then it went to me to have my second pick, and then my third pick. And then when it came back to you, you had your third pick. It's
but
even.
I feel like no, it was even as far as like picks, but I feel like all the good people were gone.
But
I should have picked better.
So I know Jamal took Jamie first. I'm pretty sure I took Shota and Abishar first. Who did you take?
I think I took Sarah last.
Pascusi. That's right. Ugh, we're at the point of the podcast where I'm forgetting things that were said like 2 minutes ago. Those are all good picks. I think our first round draft picks make sense.
My first round draft pick lasted until week 12.
Who was my second pick?
That's all I'm gonna say. My first pick lasted to week 12.
Pretty good.
I think Kiki was your second pick, and you did that.
Okay,
that's right.
For racial reasons.
Wow,
I
got
completely
completely boned on the Kiki pick.
We all
because
thought Kiki was
in the edit, it's like, oh, I'm one of the top like 15 like black chefs changing food in America, blah blah blah. And then she came in the show and she sucked.
She did a lot of onion cooking chicken. Yeah, she had a lot of clips in the preview thing, so it seemed like and the way that they edited it, it did seem like she's going to be a big player or at least get far in the competition, maybe. But she was like the second or third person out.
Yeah,
that was a hard one.
Completely boned.
I almost traded one of my players. I think I almost traded Maria for Kiki to you because I was still convinced she was going to do well. That didn't happen.
Oh wait, here are the rankings. I found them.
Okay.
This episode's getting long, but it's the finale, baby. We're doing it.
Yeah,
feel free to tune out and just give us that review.
Yeah, just while we're talking and doing this, just give us 5 stars. My number 1 pick. All right, here are the top.
So funny?
Here are the top 4 picks, and I'll go in ranking from 4 to 1. 4 Kiki, 3 Abishar, 2 Pascusi, 1 Chris.
That's a shame.
I had Sarah at 15, Brittany at 14, Roscoe at 13, not terrible, other than Sarah. Sasha at 12, not bad. Gabe at 11, horrible. Dawn at 10, horrible. Maria at 9. Shota at 8. Byron at 7, pretty close. Jamie at 6, pretty close. Nelson at 5, very bad.
It's not too bad. I think there was no information on Chris's ability to cook pasta in any of the bios or anything like that that we had.
Wasn't.
So we didn't know
that he was going to keep doing it too.
Yeah,
and Chris
doing
Chris
things bad
floated me a point, 8 free points because he made it to week 8 when he shouldn't have. And I just want to say, Nelson gave you 5 weeks, and all he did was advance an episode.
Yeah, no, he sucked too.
That's all he did.
Well, that's the end of Top Chef and fantasy. Like Reeves mentioned earlier, we're not gonna do Top Chef amateurs because it looks bad.
If it was in the format of actual Top Chef, I would totally be 100% on board with watch. That would be the fucking funniest thing in the world, especially if they sucked at cooking. I would love that. It's not that. It's like Chopped and it doesn't seem fun, so we're not going to watch it.
Nope. We're going
And I
back to
like
season
Chopped.
3, I think.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yep, and there probably won't be guests.
Yeah, maybe a couple, but not.
There might be a couple, but if you thought, man, they're really blowing their load on their guests this season, we did, and we can't ask them again. So it's just going to be us, and we're going to really, make you love us.
Mm.
You're going to fall back in love with us, which we can't do with each other because Tom said that we can't.
Yes,
it's important.
And the other rule is that we can't say Tom's name funny.
Mm-hmm.
And then the first rule was make up food.
Yeah, we can't make up food that doesn't exist.
Yes. Can't call him Mott.
Can't fall in love. Can't mess up his name, and we cannot make up food that doesn't exist. Those are 3 rules to live by, not just on this podcast, but in your real lives, people.
Mm-hmm. And that's canon. And please go back and listen to our other episodes so you understand our jokes. Okay.
Yeah, the audio is weird, but they're good episodes.
And if you do get those jokes from the previous episodes and you've been listening this long, congratulations and condolences.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess until next time.
This is kind of a petering out of this
It
episode.
really is. It really is a
We
petering
can
out.
probably cut about 15 minutes of this, but
Yeah.
it's the end of the season. We're moving on.
Yeah. So until we see you for the next season, which isn't season 19, it's going to be season 3. We're going to redo it all over again. Until then, everyone, do it with us now. Pack your knives.
Go home. Oh, wait, I did it wrong.
Pack your knives.